In the quiet cul-de-sac of Willow Creek, where lawns were trimmed like military haircuts and mailboxes gleamed under morning dew, a storm was brewing. Mark Hensley, a 42-year-old Marine veteran, lived a life of precision coffee at dawn, taxes paid early, and a faded Marine's cap that hid the weight of old battles. A widower with 3 kids, he was the kind of man who said, "Sir," without thinking, mowed his lawn every Saturday at 9 a.m., and kept his Dodge Ram spotless. His neighbors saw him as steady, unremarkable, the guy who fixed sprinklers without being asked. But across the property line, a different kind of man was testing Mark's limits. Derek Vance, his next-door neighbor, was a walking middle finger to decency, loud, smug, and proud of it. Every morning, without fail, Derek parked his gleaming red 2015 Chevy Camaro right at the edge of Mark's driveway, its nose jutting over the concrete like a taunt. It wasn't a full block, just enough to force Mark into a 27-point turn while his kids grumbled in the back seat, half asleep and annoyed. Derek had a wide driveway of his own, but he chose this spot, as if daring Mark to snap. At first, it was petty and inconvenience Mark endured with clenched teeth. But Derek's Camaro wasn't just a car, it was a statement. The neighborhood watched as Derek's defiance grew bolder. He'd rev the engine at dawn, waking babies, and strut shirtless through his yard, tossing beer cans into Mark's bushes. The Camaro's bumper blocked the sidewalk, tripping Mrs. Larson, an 84-year-old widow who cracked her wrist on the pavement. Derek's response? "Old lady needs glasses." When a fire truck struggled to reach a hydrant because of Derek's parking, a neighbor's dog died in a blaze. Derek shrugged. "Not my problem." The mailman, Tom, spilled packages dodging the car's mirror. Derek clapped and sneered. "Careful, delivery boy." The block's patience wore thin, but Derek thrived on the tension, his smirk daring someone to act. Mark tried Civy Lighty. He knocked on Derek's door, asked politely, cited city codes. Derek laughed, called him Captain PTSD, and mocked his Ser VYC loud enough for the street to hear. "What, gonna salute my car, soldier boy?" Mark didn't flinch, but inside, something stirred a flicker of the rage he'd buried after Fallujah, after losing his wife, Sarah, in a field hospital overseas. He'd come home with medals and 3 kids who needed a father, not a fighter. He'd built a life on honor, on restraint. But Derek was trampling it, grinning as he did. One morning, Mark stepped outside, coffee in hand, and froze. A sticker was slapped across the Camaro's hood, "Smile, loser. You're in the suburbs." The words hit like a slap. Mark peeled it off, careful not to scratch the paint, his hands steady but his chest tight. He could hear his kids bickering inside oblivious. He could feel the neighbors' eyes from their windows. He didn't yell. He didn't storm Derek's house. He drove to work, the sticker crumpled in his pocket, his mind calculating. Marines don't snap, they plan. The breaking point came weeks later. Derek's Camaro was parked closer than ever, inches from Mark's truck, daring a collision. Mark backed out, grazing the bumper just enough to leave a scratch. He didn't look back. But Derek's taunts escalated. He screamed across the fence. "Gonna cry to the VA, Rambo?" He painted, "Let's bang nuts," on Mark's lawn in neon green spray paint, the letters jagged and loud. The neighborhood gasped, but no one acted. Mark didn't call the police or the HOA. He went to the attic. From a dusty black case, he pulled a tactical drone, not a toy, but a military-grade beast he modified years ago with a paintball delivery system. Sarah had hated it, called it a relic of war. Mark kept it anyway, for days like this. He loaded it with industrial-grade yellow paint, synced the remote, and tested the camera. The feed was crystal clear. Word spread fast. Neighbors gathered, lawn chairs out, popcorn in hand. Mrs. Larson sat under a sun hat, binoculars ready. Derek emerged, shirtless, Red Bull in hand, squinting. What's this, drone boy? Gonna film my car for your war stories? The drone lifted off with a low, angry hum, circling the Camaro like a predator. Derek's smirk faded. What the hell? He barked, stepping forward. Mark's voice was calm, lethal. Fixing a problem. His thumb hit the trigger. A geyser of neon yellow paint erupted, splattering the Camaro's roof in a spiral. The drone dipped, painting a single word across the hood: pride. An arrow pointed to the driver's seat. The crowd erupted cheers, laughter, whistles. Mrs. Larson yelled. That's for my wrist, you jerk! Tom the mailman doubled over, gasping. Perfect shot! Derek froze, his Red Bull slipping from his hand. Then he charged the car, slipped on wet paint, and crashed face first into his hedges. The block roared louder. Mark didn't gloat. He landed the drone, tablet in hand, as Derek scrambled up, red-faced and cursing. Mark offered a hand, pulling him from the bushes. Park here again, he said softly, and I bring the other drone. It doesn't paint. It digs. Derek blinked, speechless. The crowd dispersed, buzzing with glee. The next morning, the HOA arrived, 3 board members, clipboards in hand, faces tight. Mr. Hensley, we've had complaints about weaponized drones. Mark and VY teed them in, opened his laptop, and played the footage. The Camaro's daily blockade, the paint drop, the neighbors' cheers. Then he slid over a file 2 years of Derek's violations, blocking fire lanes, harassing Tom, parking in handicapped spots. The board went silent. An hour later, Derek was fined $3,000. Mark walked free, praise for community awareness. Derek raged, while VYing the fine like a flag. He vandalized my car. I'm suing. Mrs. Larson rolled her walker to the sidewalk. You've vandalized this neighborhood for years. We're done. No one back Derek. His defiance crumbled. The Camaro vanished, sold quietly. A for sale sign appeared in his yard. Derek slunk away, curtains drawn, head down. Mark uploaded the drone footage online titled, How to Stop a Bully Without a Punch, A Marine's Guide. His voiceover was steady. I wanted peace. I got a lesson in arrogance. So I spoke louder. The VY Deo exploded 2.3 million VYUs in days. News outlets called. Reddit memed Derek's fall. Letters poured in, thanking Mark. A kid sent a crayon drawing of the painted Camaro. A package arrived with green spray paint and a note, next time, aim higher. On the 20th day, Mark planted a tree where the Camaro once sat. His youngest, Lily, named the worms they dug up. Mrs. Larson tied a tag to the stakes, Justice. Mark sat on his porch, coffee in hand, kids sprawled around him. Lily tugged his sleeve. Daddy, you didn't hit him, right? Mark smiled. Not once, sunshine. I just outsmarted him. The tree swayed, its tag glinting. The block was quiet again, the kind of quiet that felt earned, like a battle won without blood.